At 14, Liam carried a maturity beyond his years. On a crisp autumn afternoon, as he strolled down the busy Maple Street in his hometown, his attention was drawn to a tense scene unfolding outside a well-known cafe famous for its home-style dishes. In front of the cafe stood an elderly couple, dressed modestly but neatly, facing the stern gaze and cutting words of Paul, the cafe owner. Paul, a large man with a booming voice that radiated authority and impatience, made emphatic gestures, his words slicing through the air. "I'll say it again. If you can't pay, you shouldn't eat here. This isn't a free meal, it's a business." Paul snapped, pointing accusingly at the elderly couple, who shrank back with every word. Martha, the woman with white hair and teary eyes, tried to explain. "Please, sir, I swear we had the money. It must have fallen somewhere. Just give us a moment to look." Next to her, Fred, with his worn cap and trembling hands, searched his empty pockets, a look of despair growing on his face. "Maybe it slipped out when we left the taxi, Martha," he murmured, his voice barely above a whisper, laced with worry. At that moment, Liam, driven by a surge of empathy and a strong sense of right and wrong, stepped forward. His youthful presence created a striking contrast to the tension in the air. With unexpected determination, he interrupted the argument. "Sir, this isn't right. You can't treat them like this. They're elderly, and it was clearly an accident," Liam said, his voice steady and unwavering as he looked Paul straight in the eye. Paul, caught off guard by the interruption, turned to Liam with a mix of irritation and disdain. "And who are you? Their lawyer? Don't go sticking your nose where it doesn't belong, kid." But Liam ignored Paul's tone and continued calmly. "I'll cover their bill. How much is it?" His heart pounded, but he kept his voice calm and resolute. Paul's expression softened a bit, perhaps sensing a quick resolution to the situation. "It's $25, Paul replied, folding his arms and watching as Liam pulled the money from his wallet. The couple looked at Liam with a mix of gratitude and astonishment. Martha, tears glistening in her eyes, reached out to hold Liam's hand. "Oh, my dear, you didn't have to do this. We'll find the money." Liam offered a gentle smile. "It's all right. Consider it a gift. Everyone needs a hand sometimes." After paying the bill, Liam helped the couple leave the cafe. As they walked, he couldn't help but think about the birthday gift he had planned to buy for Emma. He knew the money he had just spent had been saved for that, but deep down, he felt he'd made the right choice. Something deep inside reassured Liam that he had made the right decision. Taking a steadying breath, he prepared himself for the consequences, knowing that the next day could bring both challenges and disappointments. The following morning, the sky was clear, and the sun shone brightly, as if celebrating Emma's special day. But as Liam made his way to her house, a heavy feeling weighed down his steps. His wallet was empty, and his hands held nothing that resembled the gift he had intended for her. When he arrived, Emma's house was alive with laughter and music, and the garden was adorned with colorful balloons and garlands, signaling the joyful occasion. Liam paused outside, taking another deep breath, steeling himself for the reaction he might face. Inside, the party was in full swing. Emma, radiant in a sky-blue dress, stood at the center, surrounded by friends, laughing and dancing. Heart pounding, Liam approached hesitantly. When she spotted him, her smile faded slightly, though she quickly recomposed herself and walked over. "Liam, you made it!" she exclaimed, her eyes bright but slightly searching. "So where's my present?" she asked with a hopeful smile, glancing around him as if expecting to see a gift in his hands. Liam swallowed, the discomfort evident in his expression. "Emma, I need to talk to you. Can we go somewhere private?" His voice was soft but carried an urgency that made Emma's smile falter, her curiosity and concern growing as they moved to a quiet corner in the garden. Taking a deep breath, Liam began. "Emma, I wasn't able to get you a gift." Emma's expression shifted immediately, her eyebrows knitting together in confusion and disappointment. "What do you mean, Liam? You know today is really important to me," she said, her voice rising slightly. "I know," he replied, steadying himself, "and I wanted to bring you something special." He hesitated but continued. "Yesterday I came across an elderly couple who were in a tough spot. They couldn't pay their bill at a cafe and were being treated harshly. I felt I had to help." Emma listened, but her face grew more closed off. "So, you used the money for my present to pay the bill for two strangers?" she asked incredulously, her voice filled with a mix of irritation and embarrassment. Liam nodded. "Yes, I did. It just felt like the right thing to do. I didn't want their day to end badly over a few dollars." Emma's arms crossed, her posture stiffening as her gaze turned cold. "Liam, I understand kindness, but today was supposed to be about us. You knew how much I looked forward to this. How could you think it was okay to come here empty-handed?" "With nothing, Liam. You made me look like a fool," Emma said, her voice carrying more hurt than anger now, but it still stung. Her words began to draw the attention of nearby guests, their curious gazes adding tension to the already fragile moment. "Liam, I can't be with someone who doesn't think through the consequences of their actions," she continued, each word landing heavily on him. "I need someone who values what's important to me, too." Knowing there was nothing he could say to change her mind, Liam nodded, his voice thick with regret. "I'm sorry, Emma. I thought I was doing the right thing." Emma shook her head, her disappointment clear. "I think it's best if we end things here." With a final cold glance, she turned and walked back into the crowd, leaving Liam standing alone, his heart heavy with the realization of his choice's impact. He watched her retreat, feeling the weight of both his decision and the consequences it carried, wondering about the true value of relationships and the complexity behind the choices we make. In the days following his painful breakup with Emma, Liam wandered the streets, hoping to make sense of his thoughts and relieve the heaviness in his heart. One overcast afternoon, as he drifted through an old part of town, he heard the clatter of cans and bottles nearby. Curiously, he followed the sound to an abandoned parking lot, where he spotted Martha and Fred, the elderly couple he had helped that day at the cafe. They were sorting through a small mountain of recyclables, carefully collecting enough to sell. Deeply moved by their resilience, Liam walked over, feeling a mixture of sadness and respect. "Mr. Fred, Mrs. Martha," he called gently, not wanting to startle them. Martha looked up, a warm smile of recognition lighting her face. "Oh, Liam, what a surprise to see you here." Fred, wiping his hands on an old rag, gave a nod of greeting. "Liam, my boy, how are you?" he asked, genuine concern in his voice. Liam gave a soft sigh, a faint, sad smile on his face. "I'm managing, I guess. But what about you two? What brings you here?" he asked, glancing at the bags of recyclables they were carefully sorting. Martha exchanged a brief, knowing look with Fred before replying. "We're just trying to make a little extra money. Things have been tight lately." Her tone held a hint of embarrassment, but was filled with determination. Fred added quietly, his sigh carrying a sense of regret. "We heard about what happened with you and Emma. We're so sorry, son. We didn't mean for our troubles to cause you any hardship." "Liam, we're truly sorry that our troubles caused issues between you and your girlfriend," Fred said, his voice tinged with regret. Liam quickly shook his head, interrupting. "Please don't think that way. What I did because it felt right. None of this is your fault, and I wouldn't change a thing." His voice was steady, filled with conviction. Martha stepped closer, placing her wrinkled hand on Liam's arm. "You're a good young man, Liam. We feel so grateful to have met you, even under these difficult circumstances." They spoke a bit longer, and Liam ended up helping them sort and organize the recyclables. As they worked, Martha and Fred shared stories about their lives, their highs and lows, their joys and struggles. Liam listened intently, finding an unexpected comfort in their tales of resilience and perseverance. "You know," Liam said as he tied up a bag full of cans, "I've learned so much from you both about kindness, about doing what's right even when it's tough." Fred smiled, his eyes reflecting a blend of pride and sadness. "And we've learned from you, Liam. Your kindness and courage remind us there's still good in the world." As the evening drew to a close, the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky with shades of orange and purple. Liam said goodbye to Martha and Fred, promising to visit them again. As he walked away, he felt a sense of peace and hope he hadn't felt in days, as if his connection with this elderly couple was helping him heal. In the following days, Liam couldn't stop thinking about his chance encounter with Martha and Fred. Their words had stayed with him, and he felt a renewed sense of purpose. A few days later, While passing by the cafe where the elderly couple had been treated harshly, he paused, memories of that day washing over him. At that moment, he noticed his friend, Jamie, who worked there as a waiter. Jamie caught sight of him and waved him over, a worried look on his face. Jamie pulled him aside, speaking in a low, urgent tone. "Liam, there's something important I need to tell you," he whispered, glancing around to ensure no one could overhear. Curious and slightly anxious, Liam leaned in. "What's going on, Jamie?" Jamie hesitated, biting his lip. "It's about the day that older couple was humiliated here. I saw something I think you need to know." Liam's heart began to race. "What did you see?" Jamie took a deep breath, gathering his courage. It was Nick, Paul's son, and well, Emma's new boyfriend. After the couple left, I saw Nick pick something up off the floor. It was their wallet. He took the money and hid it. Just after the elderly couple left, Nick picked something up off the floor. It was their wallet, Liam. He took the money and hid it. Jamie whispered, his voice laced with nervousness. Liam felt a surge of anger and disbelief. "Are you sure about this, Jamie? This is really serious," Liam asked, eyes narrowing. Jamie nodded, visibly uneasy. "I know, and that's why I hesitated to tell you. I should have said something sooner, but if Paul finds out, I could lose my job." Liam ran his hands through his hair, frustration mounting. "This is theft, Jamie. We need to do something. Maybe go to the police?" Jamie's voice wavered, his fear evident. "But I can't get involved without more proof. I can't risk my job." Liam considered his friend's position, his anger tempered by the reality of Jamie's vulnerability. "All right, I understand, but we can't let this slide." He paused, an idea forming. "I'll figure something out that won't put you at risk." Jamie managed a weak smile, relief softening his face. "Thanks, Liam. I appreciate it." After saying goodbye to Jamie, Liam wandered through the streets, his mind churning with what he'd just learned. Anger and frustration filled him, but he knew he needed to stay calm. "Nick needs to be held accountable somehow," he murmured to himself. As he thought it through, an idea started taking shape. He just needed more information, and maybe a little help. Over the next few days, Liam carefully crafted a plan to address Nick's actions, determined to do right by Martha and Fred. Meanwhile, his own home reflected the growing challenges his family faced. His mother, Clara, came home every evening visibly worn, her face etched with fatigue and worry. One cold evening, as they prepared a modest dinner together, Liam watched her struggle to maintain her composure. "Mom, you look more tired than usual. Is everything okay at work?" he asked gently, hoping to lighten the mood. Clara sighed, sitting down at the kitchen table with a steaming cup of tea. "Things are rough, Liam. The company's making budget cuts, and honestly, I'm afraid I might lose my job. If that happens..." She trailed off, a look of worry clouding her eyes. A pang of sadness hit Liam, seeing the burden his mother was carrying. "Don't worry, Mom. I'll find a job. We'll get through this together," he assured her, his voice filled with quiet determination. Determined to help his family, Liam spent the next several days fully immersed in job hunting. He poured hours into online searches, sent out dozens of resumes, and attended job fairs, but the responses were disheartening. The economy wasn't favorable, and opportunities for a young person with little experience were rare. On a sunny Saturday, after another frustrating interview, Liam met up with his friend Jamie at the city park. "Any luck yet?" Jamie asked hopefully. Liam shook his head, discouraged. "Nothing. It feels like for every door that opens, two more close. I'm starting to get really worried," he admitted, tossing a stone into the lake and watching the ripples spread. Jamie put a supportive arm around him. "Hang in there, man. You're one of the most determined people I know. Something will come up, just don't give up." Liam managed a faint smile. "I'm trying. I just wish I could do more for my mom. She's been through so much." As they talked, an idea began forming in Liam's mind. "You know, Jamie, maybe I'm looking in the wrong places. There might be other ways to make money I haven't considered yet." Inspired by Jamie's encouragement, Liam spent the rest of the day researching alternative income opportunities. He looked into freelancing, small business ideas that required minimal startup costs, and even considered selling his artwork online. That evening, he returned home and shared his newfound ideas with his mom, Clara, who smiled for the first time in weeks. "I'm so proud of you, Liam," she said, wrapping him in a warm hug. Your resilience and creativity are truly inspiring. Energized by his mother's support, Liam set his plans into action. He knew the challenges ahead would be tough, but he felt ready to face them. Months passed as Liam explored these new ventures. Though the path was far from easy, he pressed on, driven by a sense of purpose. On a particularly special evening, he and Clara decided to celebrate her birthday at the same cafe where so many meaningful events had taken place. The atmosphere was warm and inviting, with soft music playing in the background and dim lighting that added an intimate feel. Clara, radiant and elegantly dressed, smiled as Liam led her to their reserved table. "You didn't have to go through all this trouble, Liam," she said, touching his arm affectionately. "Mom, today is all about you. You deserve the very best," Liam replied with a smile, grateful to see her enjoying herself. As they settled in, Liam knew that this was just one of many moments he hoped to create for her, fueled by a journey of resilience, growth, and the unwavering love of family. Liam and his mom had just settled at their table when, unexpectedly, Emma and Nick entered the cafe. Emma, dressed in her usual flashy style, wore an outfit designed to draw attention, while Nick carried himself with an air of superiority. Liam felt a pang of discomfort at the sight of them, but focused his attention on his mother. However, it wasn't long before Emma noticed Liam and approached, a smug smile on her face, Nick following behind. "Well, Liam, what a surprise to see you here," Emma said with feigned sweetness. "Did you save up for months just to bring your mom here?" Nick laughed, the sound sharp and mocking. "Or maybe you got a little promotion at that side gig of yours?" He sneered, crossing his arms and looking Liam up and down. Though his patience was tested, Liam kept his composure, responding with calm firmness. "Emma, Nick, good evening. We're here to celebrate a special birthday, and I'd like to keep things positive tonight." He looked them both squarely in the eye, his voice steady and unyielding. Emma looked slightly taken aback by his composed response, but she quickly masked it, her tone dripping with sarcasm. "Oh, of course, wouldn't want to ruin your little celebration," she said with a forced smile. "Enjoy your evening," she added before turning away, pulling Nick along with her. Clara, who had watched the interaction with a disapproving look, reached over and squeezed Liam's hand. "Don't let them spoil our moment, dear. Tonight is about us, our family, and the blessings we have." Liam smiled back at his mom, feeling a renewed sense of peace. "You're absolutely right, Mom. Let's make the most of it." The rest of the evening passed smoothly, with Liam and Clara savoring a delicious meal and sharing dreams and plans for the future. They celebrated their resilience and the deep bond they shared, strengthened even further by the trials they had faced. As the night came to a close and the last patrons left the cafe, Liam reflected on the twists and turns of life. Though the challenges weren't over, he knew each experience was helping him grow, and he felt prepared to face whatever lay ahead with the wisdom he'd gained and the unwavering support of his mother. In the weeks that followed, Liam continued his efforts to maintain financial stability at home. The struggle was real, and despite his hard work, the bills piled up, making each day heavier than the last. On a cloudy Tuesday afternoon, while taking a walk through the city's Central Park to clear his mind, he spotted two familiar figures sitting on a bench near the lake. Martha and Fred, the elderly couple he had helped at the cafe. Martha and Fred seemed to be in a lively conversation, but when they spotted Liam, they waved him over enthusiastically. Liam's face broke into a smile as he quickened his pace, happy to reunite with friends who had become a significant part of his life. "Martha, Fred, what a pleasant surprise to see you here," he greeted them. Martha stood up and gave him a warm hug. "Oh, dear, we're so happy to see you. How have you been?" she asked, her gaze filled with gentle concern as she studied his face. Fred extended a hand, his smile warm. "Yes, Liam, tell us what's going on. You look like you've been carrying the world on your shoulders." Liam sighed, taking a seat beside them. "It's been tough. Things at home are tight and I'm trying to find more work, but it's not easy," he admitted, his voice tired and worn. Martha and Fred exchanged a meaningful look before Fred spoke. "Liam, there's something we've been meaning to tell you, something we've never shared with you before." Curious, Liam leaned forward. "What is it?" Martha took his hand. "Dear, when you helped us that day at the cafe, we were living a sort of experiment. You see, we have sufficient financial resources, more than enough, really. Liam's eyes widened in shock. You're wealthy? Fred nodded. Yes, but we live simply to better understand the people around us and to find someone truly deserving of our trust and help. Liam was speechless, absorbing the surprising revelation. Before he could respond, Martha continued. And now, we want to offer you an opportunity, Liam. We'd like you to work with us, learn about our business, and eventually take on a meaningful role in our enterprises. Fred added, We've seen your kindness, integrity, and strength in the face of hardship. We want to invest in you, help guide you, and watch you grow. Liam felt a powerful blend of shock and gratitude. I don't even know what to say. This is incredible, but why me? Martha smiled at him warmly. Because, Liam, you have something that can't be taught, a generous heart and a strong character. Fred handed him a folder. Consider this an investment in the future, your future. Inside are documents explaining the position and what we'd like to achieve together if you're interested. Liam accepted the folder, still in disbelief. I accept. Thank you. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Fred's eyes sparkled with encouragement. Don't thank us, Liam. Just prove us right. With a new sense of purpose and an unexpected path laid before him, Liam bid farewell to Martha and Fred, promising to meet soon to discuss the details. As he walked away, he felt the weight of the opportunity, as well as the excitement of a new chapter unfolding. Liam's heart felt light, and for the first time in a long while, he sensed a new chapter beginning, one brimming with possibilities and opportunities to learn. The offer from Martha and Fred had not only opened a new door for him, but also illuminated a path he had never imagined pursuing. With a blend of excitement and nervousness, he prepared for his first day at their company, a well-regarded corporation with diverse interests spanning real estate and philanthropy. On a bright Monday morning, Liam dressed in his best suit, a gift from his mother, and made his way to the impressive glass building that housed Martha and Fred's business. As he entered, a friendly assistant greeted him with a warm smile. Mr. Liam, welcome. Mr. Fred and Mrs. Martha are looking forward to starting the day with you. Please follow me. She led him through an elegantly decorated corridor to a spacious office at the top of the building. Inside, Martha and Fred welcomed Liam with warmth that belied the formality of the setting. Liam, we're so glad you accepted our offer, Martha said, her eyes twinkling. Fred gestured for him to sit. Let's begin with an overview of the business and discuss where you might fit in best. We're confident you'll bring fresh ideas and enthusiasm to our work. The first few days were intense and informative. Liam was introduced to each division within the company, learning about daily operations, financial management, and the social initiatives that lay at the heart of Martha and Fred's philosophy. Every team member, aware of Liam's story and how he had come to be there, treated him with a mix of curiosity and respect. Over the following weeks, Liam worked closely with various department heads, absorbing knowledge and applying his strong work ethic. Before long, he began contributing ideas that were well received, earning the admiration and support of his colleagues. One afternoon, as he reviewed a proposal to expand a charitable housing initiative he'd been developing, Fred entered his office with a proud smile. Liam, I've been following your progress, and I must say, I'm impressed. Your proposal to expand our affordable housing program is innovative, and I believe you're ready for more responsibility. Liam looked up, gratitude and pride shining in his eyes. Thank you, Fred. I'm incredibly grateful for the opportunity. I promise I'll keep giving my best. Fred placed a supportive hand on his shoulder. That's all we ask, Liam. Martha and I discussed it, and we'd like you to lead this project. It's a big responsibility, but we believe in you, Fred said, handing Liam the reins to implement the housing initiative. As Liam took on this new challenge, his understanding of the business deepened, along with his appreciation for Martha and Fred's long-term vision. Not only was he adapting to the company's culture, but he was also starting to shape it, bringing fresh energy and perspective that resonated across the organization. As Liam continued to grow and thrive within the company, the transformation showed in his personal life as well. With his new position, he was able to provide more comfortably for his mother, lifting many of the financial worries that had once loomed over them. Each success reminded him of his journey, the adversities he had overcome, and the lessons learned from every person who had touched his life. On the eve of a major project launch, Liam stood in his office, gazing out at the sunset over distant hills. He felt ready for whatever lay ahead, fortified with knowledge, experience, and the unwavering support of those around him. But he had no idea that the next chapter would bring unforeseen challenges and opportunities that would test him in ways he'd never imagined. As the years passed, Liam solidified his place as a central figure in Martha and Fred's company. Under his leadership, several innovative projects flourished, reflecting his vision and dedication. The trust that Martha and Fred had placed in him shaped not only his career but also their bond, making them feel like more than mentors. They were nearly family. Then, on a chilly autumn morning, as Liam reviewed documents for the company's next major initiative, his phone rang, its abrupt sound jarring him in the quiet of his office. He answered to find Claire, Martha and Fred's longtime personal assistant, on the line. Her voice was choked with emotion and urgency. "Liam, you need to come to the hospital immediately," Claire said, her voice barely holding together. Without hesitation, Liam dropped everything and rushed to the hospital, his heart heavy with a sense of dread. In the lobby he found Claire, her eyes red and swollen. "Claire, what happened?" he asked, fearing the worst. Claire took a moment to steady herself before answering. "It's Martha. She had a heart attack this morning, and Fred, he couldn't handle the shock." Her words dissolved into sobs. Liam felt the ground slip away beneath him. "Both?" he murmured, struggling to process the news. As he stood there, the hospital walls seemed to close in, his mind reeling with the enormity of the loss. Following Claire down the hospital hallway toward the rooms where Martha and Fred lay, Liam felt like he was stepping into a surreal world. The two people who had been his foundation, his guides, were now silent. In Martha's room, he held her hand, still faintly warm, and remembered the countless times she had been there for him, guiding him with wisdom and kindness. In the next room, Fred appeared to be simply resting, a peaceful expression concealing the finality of his departure. Liam sat by Fred's bedside, memories flooding his mind, moments of shared laughter, advice, and challenges replaying like a film. In the days that followed, Liam struggled to focus on daily tasks. Though the company continued to run smoothly, it felt hollow without Martha and Fred's presence. Liam found himself visiting their offices frequently, hoping to catch a glimpse of them, ready with a new project or a word of encouragement. The funeral was a moving testament to the profound impact Martha and Fred had on their community and beyond. The tributes poured in, each one more heartfelt than the last, leaving Liam with a mix of deep pride in their legacy and profound pain for his personal loss. After the funeral, Liam sat in Fred's office, surrounded by the things Fred loved, a collection of books, travel photos, and a small plant that Fred swore had purifying qualities. As he sat in Fred's chair, Liam reflected on the weight of his new role. With the company now under his leadership, he felt the gravity of the responsibility. "I need to carry on what they started, to honor the trust they placed in me," he murmured to the empty room. With renewed determination, he began planning the next steps, knowing that every decision would now carry not only his own vision, but the legacy of Martha and Fred as well. Weeks passed as Liam navigated the turbulent waters of grief and growing responsibility. Then, one day he received a summons from Martha and Fred's lawyer. The large office, lined with books and degrees, exuded a formal gravity. But on this day, Liam entered with a mixture of anticipation and nervousness. "Liam, thank you for coming," said Mr. Thompson the lawyer, nodding as he gestured for Liam to sit. "There are significant matters related to Martha and Fred's will that we need to discuss." Liam sat up straighter in his chair, mentally preparing himself. "Of course, Mr. Thompson, I'm ready to listen." Mr. Thompson opened a folder, pulling out several documents. "As you know, Martha and Fred had no children. Over the years they came to see you not just as a protégé, but as almost a son. Their will reflects this bond and trust." Liam's heart beat a little faster with each word. The lawyer continued, adjusting his glasses. "They left very clear instructions, Liam. Martha and Fred have left you the entirety of their estate, This includes all business holdings, properties, and investments. They firmly believed you were the most qualified person to carry on their values and vision. Liam felt momentarily breathless, the weight of what was being said settling over him. I inherited everything? He asked, his voice barely a whisper. Yes, everything, Mr. Thompson confirmed, passing the documents to him. In their will, they emphasized that your ethics, compassion, and leadership are what they valued most. They wished for you to continue guiding the empire they built. Liam flipped through the documents, each page a testament to the love and trust Martha and Fred had placed in him. I don't know what to say, Mr. Thompson. It's such a tremendous responsibility. It is indeed, Mr. Thompson replied with a reassuring smile. But they had no doubt you would honor and expand their legacy with the same integrity that guided them throughout their lives. As Liam walked out of the lawyer's office with the folder in hand, he felt both the weight and warmth of the legacy now entrusted to him. Martha and Fred had transformed his life in ways he could never have foreseen, and now it was his turn to build upon what they had created and make them proud. In the days that followed, as Liam began taking the reins of the company, he often reflected on the values that Martha and Fred had embodied. Every decision he made carried a piece of their guidance, their lessons, and the love they had shared with him. Ready to lead the company into a new era, Liam understood that the journey of love, loss, and legacy was rarely straightforward. Armed with the confidence instilled by his mentors and his own instincts, he felt prepared to face whatever challenges lay ahead. However, he was still unaware of the surprises awaiting him. Twists that would test his ability to uphold the legacy while balancing his own ambitions and the reappearance of figures from his past. As news of Liam's monumental inheritance spread through the community and beyond, he suddenly found himself thrust not only into the spotlight, but also under the scrutiny and expectations that accompanied such a vast responsibility. As Liam navigated his newfound position in the spotlight, he not only faced local fame, but also the scrutiny and expectations that accompanied such visibility. Each day brought new responsibilities and challenges, but he was unprepared for a reunion with someone from his past. One Tuesday afternoon, while reviewing reports in the office that once belonged to Fred, his assistant knocked and entered. Mr. Liam, sorry to interrupt, but Miss Emma Lane is here to see you. She says it's urgent. Liam looked up, surprised. Emma? Yes, of course, send her in. Moments later, Emma entered, looking more mature but still carrying the same presence he remembered. Her eyes scanned the luxurious office before settling on Liam with a mixture of nervousness and resolve. Liam, it's good to see you, she began, her voice unsteady. I heard about everything that's happened. Congratulations. Liam, cautious but polite, replied, Thank you, Emma. It's been a long time. What brings you here? Emma hesitated, carefully choosing her words. I've been thinking a lot about us, about how things ended. I was wrong, Liam. Very wrong, she admitted, looking down. Liam watched her in silence, weighing the sincerity of her words. Emma, what exactly are you saying? She looked up, meeting his gaze. I was wondering if we could start over? Maybe rekindle our friendship? Or more, I really miss you. Feeling a mixture of old emotions tempered by the wisdom that time had granted him, Liam kept his expression steady. I appreciate your honesty, Emma, but it seems you're bringing this up now because of what you've heard about the inheritance. Emma shifted uncomfortably. No, it's not that. I've truly been reflecting on the mistakes we made. Liam interrupted, gentle but firm. Emma, you only showed up after the news broke. We haven't spoken in years. Can you understand why I might be skeptical? She bit her lip, visibly struggling to maintain composure. I understand how this looks, but I swear, it's not about the money. Liam took a deep breath, realizing that his past with Emma was a chapter best left closed. Emma, I wish you all the best, truly, but I think it's better if we each go our own way. We've changed, and what we had ended a long time ago. Emma nodded slowly, a tear escaping as she accepted his words. I understand, Liam. I'm sorry for coming here like this. With a final lingering look, she turned and left the office, leaving Liam alone with his thoughts. In the quiet that followed, Liam reflected on how far he had come, the lessons he had learned, and the bridges he needed to leave behind. He knew he was ready to move forward, committed to the legacy he'd been entrusted with, and focused on the future that lay ahead. Liam reflected on how far he had come, the hard-won lessons, and the bridges he needed to leave in the past. He knew that other challenges, and perhaps even more ghosts from his past, might still appear, but he was resolute in facing them with the dignity and integrity that Martha and Fred would have expected. As he prepared to close out the day, Liam considered the next steps for both the company and his personal life, understanding that every decision would shape his future in ways he was only beginning to comprehend. After his meeting with Emma, Liam felt a renewed sense of purpose. With the vast inheritance now under his stewardship, he was determined not only to succeed in business, but also to make a meaningful difference in the lives of those around him, starting with his own family. On a sunny morning, Liam visited his mother, Clara, at her modest home. She had struggled with bills and financial worries for years, and Liam had planned this visit carefully, wanting every detail to be just right. "Mom," he began, holding her hands gently as they sat together at the old kitchen table, "I have some news." Clara looked at him, a blend of curiosity and concern on her face. "What's happened, Liam? Is everything okay?" "Everything is more than okay," he replied with a smile. "I came here today to tell you that you no longer need to worry about money." Clara blinked, unsure she had heard him right. "What do you mean, Liam?" Taking a deep breath, Liam continued, his emotions clear. "With Martha and Fred's inheritance, I can take care of all your debts. All of them, Mom." He paused, letting it sink in. "And not just that. I want you to move to a new home, a place where you won't have to worry about repairs or rent." Tears welled up in Clara's eyes as she absorbed the weight of his words. "Liam, that's too much. I don't know if I can accept it." "You can, and you will," he said gently. "You've sacrificed so much for me over the years. It's time for you to rest and enjoy life without these worries. This is my gift to you." Overwhelmed with emotion, Clara hugged him tightly. "I don't know what I did to deserve such a wonderful son," she whispered. With his mother's financial burdens lifted, Liam turned his attention to community projects that had been close to Martha and Fred's hearts. Inspired by their values and the needs he saw in the community, Liam launched a series of initiatives focused on education and health. He established a scholarship program for young people from disadvantaged backgrounds, wanting to offer others the chance to transform their lives through education. Additionally, he funded the construction of a local health clinic, ensuring that those in his community would have access to quality medical care. Liam proudly stood before a small group of journalists at the opening of the new health clinic he'd funded in the neighborhood where he grew up. This clinic would ensure that residents had access to quality medical care without the burden of cost. "These projects are just the beginning," Liam said, addressing the press. "I plan to use every resource at my disposal to continue Martha and Fred's legacy. They believed in doing good, and I intend to honor that belief every day." As Liam saw these changes come to life, he felt a profound satisfaction, knowing he was making a real difference. He had transformed his own life, and now, following in his mentor's footsteps, he was helping to transform the lives of others. But as Liam forged ahead, new opportunities and challenges began to emerge, ones that would test his leadership and vision in unexpected ways. With a strong foundation built in his community through impactful projects, Liam turned his focus inward to the company, determined to initiate a transformation that reflected both his values and those of Martha and Fred. He wanted the company to be more than profitable. He wanted it to stand as a model of integrity and social responsibility. On a bright Monday morning, he convened a meeting with all department heads. The spacious conference room was packed, and the air was thick with anticipation. "Thank you all for coming," Liam began, his tone confident and calm. "Today, we're here to discuss the future of our company and the vital roles each of you will play in that vision." He paused, ensuring he had everyone's attention. "We're going to redefine our business practices. I don't want us to simply aim for financial success. I want us to lead in social responsibility. This means being transparent, ethical, and investing back into the community that supports us." A murmur of approval and a few surprised expressions spread through the room. Liam went on to outline new policies, including regular ethical audits, enhanced recycling programs, and partnerships with local nonprofits. As part of this initiative, we'll be launching a program that allows our employees to directly engage in community activities, with a paid workday dedicated to this. I want everyone to feel that their work here isn't just for profit, but also makes a meaningful difference in the world. Lisa, the head of marketing, raised her hand, her face thoughtful. Liam, how will these changes impact our short-term profit goals? Is there a risk to our immediate financial performance? Liam nodded, appreciating the question. That's an excellent point, Lisa. It's true that these initiatives will require some upfront investment. Yes, this might impact our short-term profits, Liam acknowledged. But by building a reputation as a company that genuinely cares and prioritizes sustainable practices, we'll attract customers who value those same principles. In the long run, this will strengthen our brand and our results. Tom, the product development manager, added, "This approach also gives us a competitive edge in attracting talent, people who want to work for a company that aligns with their personal values." Exactly, Tom, Liam replied, a smile forming. That's the kind of environment I want to cultivate here, a place where we not only work for our own success, but also serve as a beacon of positivity and change. As the meeting progressed, Liam detailed the strategy and resources that would support each new initiative. The response was overwhelmingly positive, with many leaders expressing their excitement and readiness to embrace this new direction. Over the following months, Liam oversaw the implementation of these policies, and soon the company's cultural transformation was unmistakable. Teams were more motivated, and the company began to receive recognition for both its innovations and ethical practices. As Liam looked toward the future, he was well aware of the challenges ahead, but he was confident that the foundation they were building would lead the company to new heights of success and respect. In fulfilling the legacy of Martha and Fred, he was also creating his own. Yet Liam couldn't have foreseen that this new era of success would bring its own set of trials, testing both his leadership and the company's values in ways that would require every bit of his wisdom and resolve. With the company thriving under its new vision, Liam found himself attending community events more frequently, representing the company as a compassionate leader. At one such event, a charity gala aimed at raising funds for education, he met Elisa, a passionate volunteer whose dedication was evident in her every action. Elisa was coordinating registration at the entrance when Liam arrived. With a warm smile, she greeted him. "Good evening. Welcome to our annual event. We hope you find inspiration and joy tonight," she said, handing him a program. "Thank you," Liam replied, impressed by her energy. "It looks like you have everything under control here." Elisa laughed, her light and cheerful voice carrying through the air. "We do what we can. Every effort is worth it for a cause like this." "A cause like this is worth every effort," Elisa said, pausing as she glanced at Liam's name tag. "Oh, you're Liam. I've heard so much about the incredible work your company is doing in the community." Liam, more accustomed to being recognized for his financial status than his personal contributions, felt a surge of gratitude at being seen so authentically. "Yes, that's me. We're doing our best to make a real impact, and you're clearly dedicated to these causes as well." Their conversation flowed easily, and Liam found himself genuinely interested in learning more about Elisa, not just about her volunteer work, but about who she was beyond it. As the evening unfolded, they shared stories from their lives, discovering a surprising connection and a resonance in values and dreams. Liam was especially moved when Elisa spoke passionately about her belief in education and community work as forces of transformation. "You know," Elisa said as they watched guests dancing, "it's rare to meet someone who doesn't just talk about change but actually makes it happen. You do that, Liam, and it's admirable." "Humbled and delighted," Liam replied. "Hearing that means a lot, and having someone recognize it without seeing dollar signs is even rarer." Their gazes met, a mutual understanding blossoming between them. In the months that followed, Liam and Elisa saw each other more often, and their lives began to intertwine in ways neither had anticipated. Eventually, Liam introduced Elisa to his mother, Clara, who immediately saw what her son cherished in Elisa, a woman of depth, integrity, and a vibrant passion for life and the common good. Together, Liam and Elisa began to envision a future that combined their shared passions for social responsibility and personal growth. Liam had never felt so connected to someone who valued him for his heart and spirit rather than his bank account. On a quiet afternoon in the park, as they walked hand in hand, Liam stopped and looked at Elisa with a certainty he had never felt before. "Elisa, I never imagined I'd find someone who not only shares my dreams but also my desire to make a difference. You make me want to be the best man I can be." With tears in her eyes and a smile that lit up her entire face, Elisa squeezed his hand. "And you've shown me that true success is measured by the love and impact we leave in the world, not by what we own." They knew the road ahead would have its share of challenges, but they also knew that together they could face anything life threw their way. And as Liam prepared to meet new challenges and opportunities, he felt a renewed sense of purpose. Grateful to have found a partner in both vision and heart, Liam was certain of one thing. With Elisa by his side, he was already infinitely rich. As he stood in the center of an elegant event hall, he watched the final touches come together for the charity gala. Delicate flowers adorned each table, and photos of Martha and Fred, capturing moments from their lives dedicated to service and kindness, were displayed throughout, evoking memories of their legacy. Tonight's event was more than just a gathering. It was a celebration and tribute to Martha and Fred, a milestone in Liam's journey and the fulfillment of his gratitude toward them. Liam had planned every detail to reflect not only his respect and love for his mentors but also his deep gratitude for everything they had done for him. As guests began to arrive, he greeted each with warmth and sincerity. Community leaders, business professionals, and many of the young people who had benefited from the scholarships his company now offered were all present. "It's a wonderful night," Elisa said, approaching Liam with 2 glasses of champagne. Handing him one, she added, "Martha and Fred would have been so proud." Liam accepted the glass, his eyes scanning the hall. "I hope so. All of this is for them. They taught me the true value of service and love. Without them, I wouldn't be where I am today." Throughout the evening, Liam shared stories of how Martha and Fred had touched his life. During his speech, standing before an attentive audience, he reflected on the fateful night he helped an elderly couple at a cafe. A simple act of kindness that had set in motion a series of transformative events. "That night, I just knew I had to help," Liam said into the microphone, his voice filled with emotion. "I couldn't have known that such a small gesture would open doors to a life filled with purpose and opportunity. Martha and Fred saw something in me that I hadn't yet seen in myself. They gave me a chance, and with it the belief that we can all make a difference." The guests listened, many with tears in their eyes, moved by the sincerity and passion in his words. Liam spoke about the projects his company had launched, each one inspired by the values that Martha and Fred had instilled in him. "This event, beyond raising funds, is a reminder that life's true worth isn't found in what we own, but in the love we share and the lives we touch," he concluded. "Martha and Fred taught me that, and I hope to carry their legacy forward every day." As soft music filled the hall and people mingled and danced, Liam allowed himself a quiet moment of reflection. He watched Elisa animatedly conversing with a young scholarship recipient about her future, and felt a surge of gratitude. His journey, from that one act of kindness to this night, had been filled with learning and growth. Each step, every decision, had been guided by a sincere desire to do good, inspired by the generosity and love of 2 remarkable people who had changed his life forever. With a toast to the future and to new paths yet to be explored, Liam celebrated not just the memory of his mentors, but the impact of their actions. A chain of kindness that would continue to grow, touching lives far beyond his own. If you enjoyed this story, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you for being a part of this journey. See you in the next video.